want to live in the Middle Ages? To see the emblem of a urine taster? Yes, that job really existed. Or visit one of the most romantic places in Europe, the Lake of Love? All of this is possible in northern Venice, the city of Bruges. That's right, arguably the most beautiful small town in Europe. The city survived the wars, so the center has barely changed since the 15th century and is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Welcome to the Holly Lolly channel. Today, we continue our journey through Europe. And I want to reassure all the Japan fans videos about Japan are coming very soon. Right now, though, we're on a little European adventure. If you haven't seen my previous Europe videos, please watch them after this one. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button, it really means a lot to me. Shall we continue? The town I visited is less than an hour's drive from the capital Brussels. Canals, small bridges, cobblestones, and the most charming little houses you can imagine. While traveling through the delightful Belgium on the way to the city, I learned a few interesting facts. Did you know that the Smurfs come from Belgium? And not just them, Belgium is the birthplace of some of the most legendary comics, The Adventures of Tintin and Lucky Luke. Bruges sometimes appears in Japanese pop culture. Its canals and Gothic buildings have inspired artists. In Hayao Miyazaki's anime Kiki's Delivery Service, part of the European streets imagery was inspired by Bruges. Who would have thought that tiny Belgium would give us not only comics, but also French fries, Brussels sprouts, the saxophone, cricket, roller skates, plastic, contraceptives, and even asphalt. The symbol of Belgium is Mannequin Peace, the famous little statue of a boy urinating. Despite its modest size, this funny figure has become a true cultural and tourist icon of the country, and people love changing his outfits. Costumes reflect holidays, events, or simply bring joy to passers-by. Imagine his wardrobe now contains over 1,000 outfits. Even I don't have that many clothes. One of the most popular squares in Bruges is the Tannis Square. The square connects two symbols of Bruges, the picturesque Rosario Pier and the majestic Berg. In the old days, leatherworkers worked here, and their craft wasn't always pleasant for those nearby. On this very square stands a memorial to actual urine tasters. And this is not a joke! Hundreds of years ago, leatherworkers used urine because of its high ammonia content. The smell on the square was so strong that many avoided it. For their craft, the artisans bought urine from townspeople, but the poor, trying to make more money, would mix their urine with water to increase the volume. That's how the figure of the urine taster appeared. His task was to drink a sample from each sold barrel and determine whether the urine was pure or fake. What modern profession do you think will seem just as strange 500 years from now? Share your thoughts in the comments. After such a story, it's time for a dose of beauty. We move to one of the most romantic spots in Bruges, the Lake of Love. The story of this place is not only romantic, but unfortunately tragic. According to legend, a girl named Minna lived here, in love with a warrior named Stromberg. She hid her feelings from her father, a sailor who insisted on an early marriage. But then war broke out, Stromberg left, and her father tried to marry her off against her will. Minna ran away and hid in the forests, until one day Stromberg found her, but sadly it was too late. She died in his arms. Later, a powder tower was built on this spot, and Stromberg dammed the river and buried his beloved in its bed. That's how the Lake of Love came to be one of the most romantic places in Bruges. It's not surprising that Belgium has such diverse spots. This tiny country boasts the highest density of castles per square kilometer. The country feels like a medieval fairy tale. Imagine driving through Belgium and feeling like a new castle is hiding behind every hill. There are over 3,000 of them, a record for such a small country, a real miniature kingdom. By the way, did you know the history of the lottery began in Belgium? The very first lottery was held in Bruges. After these fascinating facts, we begin our walk and immerse ourselves in the atmosphere of Bruges. Let's start with the most significant tower in the city, the medieval belfry. It dates back to the 13th century and has since become a symbol of the city's independence. It stored seals and archives, while the bells controlled daily life, announcing the market opening, dangers, or important events. And this tower has also starred on the big screen. Key scenes of the cult movie in Bruges take place here. After the film's release, it attracted even more tourists. I already mentioned that Belgium is called the Northern Venice, but that's not the only comparison. The belfry is also called the Leaning Tower of Bruges. It leans almost a meter to the east. And as you might guess, tourists often compare it to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The belfry has 366 steps, and climbing to the top reveals a panorama of Bruges as the townspeople saw it centuries ago. The Markt Square is the true heart of Bruges. In the past, public executions, night tournaments, and fairs with goods from all over the world took place here. The square also served as the main bulletin board of the city. Royal decrees and magistrate decisions were read here. Today, the square comes alive in a different way, with cozy cafes and tourists strolling among historic buildings. Despite modern life, the sense of history remains, and every cobblestone seems to hold its own legends. Berg Square is another jewel of Bruges. This is where Bruges began as a settlement, a fortified island on the Rehe River. Over time, it became the city's heart and still retains its administrative function. The square looks like it stepped out of a medieval history book. Majestic buildings with Gothic facades, carved windows, and ancient towers create an atmosphere that makes you feel part of the past. Its main pride is the Basilica of the Holy Blood, housing a relic with a drop of Christ's blood. The interior combines Gothic and Renaissance styles with stained glass and carved altars that bring the legends to life. Inside, you can literally get goosebumps. Walking around the square, it's impossible not to feel how deeply history permeates this place. Every year, Bruges hosts the Procession of the Holy Blood, with participants dressed as knights and clergy of the ancient cult, bringing the square's corners alive with history and ceremony. Bruges is also inseparable from swans. Legend says they were introduced here in the 15th century after the execution of a ruler. Since then, swans have become a symbol of Bruges and can be seen in almost every corner with water. And there's plenty of water. Bruges canals are like the city's veins, carrying its history. Once bustling trade routes, barges carried goods from around the world. I suggest enjoying this atmospheric place in silence. Today, these canals are one of the main attractions. Narrow streets along the canals give the feeling of being in Venice, hence the nickname Northern Venice. Many hotels capitalize on this, offering rooms with views of the picturesque canals, letting guests enjoy the unique medieval atmosphere right from their windows. I'll show you a room tour and the views we had from our window. So here we meet Anya. There's a small kitchenette with a kettle and coffee machine. I'll show you a room tour and the views we had from our window. So here we meet Anya. There's a small kitchenette with a kettle and coffee machine. Moving on, there's a large room, likely for the kids. I was surprised there's an ironing board, a big plus, but why not add a partition to make 2 separate rooms? This room is for 4 people. In Switzerland, we had partitions, and I thought, why not here? Friends, expect a Switzerland episode soon. And here's something shocking. The bathroom has neither doors nor partitions. The view is of the railway. Someone in the bath can see the whole family, and vice versa. How do you like this room? Comment below. I'm heading to the shower. It's fast thanks to the shower head, not just a bathtub. Honestly, this setup probably saves energy because everyone showers faster. Look at my invention here. That's Sasha over there. I set up this garden for myself, and the hotel should give me a bonus for this invention. Unfortunately, they didn't throw away the trash left by the previous visitors, even though this is a Radisson hotel. After my trip to Frankfurt, I always check the kettles now, because someone at the hotel either cooked fish soup or something else in the kettle, and it stinks of fish. It's like being at a fish market. These aren't cheap hotels, so why do situations like this happen? Walking along Bruges canals is enchanting year-round, but if you visit in winter, don't miss the Winterglued Festival. The city becomes a real fairy tale. Garlands everywhere, cozy market huts with the smell of waffles and hot chocolate, and canals reflecting thousands of lights. The highlight is the water light show, with animations projected onto mist, making images appear to float above the canal. Sitting on the quay, breathing in the frosty air, Bruges truly feels like a winter wonderland. Bruges is not just canals and medieval streets, it's a paradise for food lovers. Despite its small size, Belgium has one of the highest densities of Michelin-starred restaurants per capita. Cafes and eateries are everywhere, so locals often dine out instead of cooking. In this trip, we brought a microwave and an air grill, so we cooked our own meals. We returned home, and it's dinner time. We bought gyoza and fish to cook with pineapple. In Japan, I could skip cooking thanks to convenience stores, but here, I had to. We got a baking device for about $45. It's affordable compared to local supermarkets. It's perfect for a stay of a couple of months. You can even cook in the hotel. Our fish turned out delicious and appetizing. Even if you're not hungry, the aroma of fresh waffles, crispy fries, and strong Belgian beer is irresistible. There's even a 3 kilometers underground beer pipeline connecting the brewery to the city center. Belgium produces over 1,500 different different kinds of beer, including unique Trappist and lambic varieties, more than the number of days in a year. To try them all, you'd need a mug every day for 4 years. In Bruges, the Halfman brewery produces the unique Bruges beer, found nowhere else. Visiting lets you taste this legendary drink and peek behind the scenes of the brewing process. And of course, Bruges is famous for chocolate. The city has over 50 workshops, making it a chocolate lover's paradise. Surprisingly, most chocolate is sold at Brussels airport, about 1.6 kilograms per minute. Belgium produces over 220,000 tons of chocolate annually. No wonder locals eat more 10 kilos of it every year. Bruges is also a diamond cutting capital. One of Europe's oldest gem cutting centers is here. The Diamond Museum shows how rough stones become brilliant gems, a small adventure for tourists, even if you're not buying jewelry. For peace and quiet, visit the Begingen, a women's community founded in 1245. The streets are quiet, houses neat, and courtyards green, a real medieval escape. The entrance bridge offers an atmospheric canal view, and the bell from the nearby church adds charm. It's the perfect spot to breathe in Bruges' history. Another Belgian fact, after 10 p.m. the city becomes very quiet, no loud music or noise allowed. Break the rule, and neighbors might complain. In Japan, it's even stricter after 9 p.m. Bruges is not just an open-air museum, it's a place where past and present meet. Walking the streets, you forget the 21st century exists outside the city. It feels like you're the heroine of a medieval fairy tale, about to meet a knight on horseback or ride in a carriage down cobbled streets. Thank you so much for watching, hit like, and see you in the next videos. Bye!